mean, the favorite parts for me are the transparency. There's nothing that we do behind the scenes that I necessarily have to hide from the homeowner. You're not going to be equipped better anywhere else.
Welcome back to another episode of Andy's Talk. Today I'm joined by one of our project consultants, one of the newest. Are you still the newest?
Yes.
Yeah, our newest. John, how are you today, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
First, before we go, do you prefer John or Jonathan? Because I've seen both.
I don't care.
What do you prefer, though, man?
I don't prefer.
So you can call him whatever you want.
Most people call me John.
John?
But
Okay.
it's up to you.
John, these podcasts are specifically for people to get to know you, and this is cool for me, so I can get to know you some. Just give us the basics. Where are you from? How old are you? If you're not from here, how'd you get to Louisville? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm 21, just turned 21 in October, and I am originally from New Jersey, Central Jersey, over by the coast. Grew up there, went to high school there, and then moved over here originally in Kentucky for college.
Okay.
I went to the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary over in Louisville for about a year, and then sort of put that on pause, at least for the time being, after having this job opportunity, and came over here.
Yeah, that Southern Seminary, that's a lot of work.
It is a lot of reading.
Yeah, a lot of reading. So
yeah.
what kept you in Louisville? So, recently engaged, correct?
Yes.
She said yes.
She did.
So how did you meet her?
We met at the seminary. She goes to the undergrad boys' college.
Okay.
She's getting her communications degree there. And so we met there and starting to pursue each other. I've started looking into work, being able to support each other or support her financially. And one of my buddies, Justin LePage,
Okay.
who was an employee here, he had his own company and brought me on.
Yeah, a little bit about that. So we did acquire a roofing company from Shelbyville.
Right.
That is now Andy's roofing location in Shelbyville. So you were working for him?
Correct.
Okay. How long did you work there?
Not super long. It was maybe 3 or 4 months. It was entirely door knocking, and so learned a little bit more of the gritty kind of day-to-day door knocking, 6-7 hours a day side of things.
How's it feel to do and then just get do you ever what's one of the worst stories? Are people just ruthless, or are people around here pretty nice?
I mean,
You're in the Midwest, so I think a door knocking in the Midwest versus in New Jersey would be a little different.
super different. Super different. I don't know that I would want a door knock in New Jersey. That probably wouldn't be super fun. But yeah, I mean, I've been cursed out. A dog almost attacked me, and then the homeowner came out and said, "Oh, they won't bite." Came up behind my ankles, almost bit me. Pretty sure they do, but yeah, wasn't too bad. Definitely a good experience.
So you did work at another roofing company for 3 or 4 months. What is we've talked to some of our salespeople before, and even our sales manager that's worked at different places. What's the difference culture-wise and just as a company-wise from working at a different roofing company to Andy's? What is the difference?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I can speak for all roofing companies as a whole. I mean, I think I can a little bit more knowing
the industry.
a lot of different, the industry. But from personal experience, the other company I worked for was just getting started. It was less than a year old. It was me and 2 other guys. And so it was very thrown into the fire, learned by experience.
Yeah.
There wasn't a ton of guidance because everyone was up to their necks in work already, and there wasn't a whole lot of time to spend with each other. And so being able to come onto a team that has a system that's very thorough, very established, aimed at taking care of the client, kind of puts most of my ability out of the question and says, okay, you just do this the way you're supposed to, and you're going to take care of the person that you're working with. It has been super, super helpful for me, especially being newer in the industry, being newer in the company, still learning a ton. It just helps streamline things a whole lot, making sure I'm not doing wrong by the clients I'm working with. So it's been super, super helpful.
Is that kind of your personality? Do you like coming in? So basically at Andy's Roofing, it's set up for you. You get an iPad that has everything you want. Do you thrive in that? It's just here's the process, and you go follow the same thing every time, and you're going to be successful. Is that
Yeah, I enjoy that sort of thing. We do disc assessments when we come on the team, and so mine is very...
What was yours?
Very high C, very high I, which is high in in detail orientation,
Yeah.
which is C, and then high I is familial, likes to follow rules because they're right, not necessarily because you want to or don't want to. Those sorts of ideas, and so I can create systems from scratch, like I did with the last company, door knocking. Kind of
Yeah.
figured that out on my own. Once I had a system, it was a lot easier for me. But coming into a system that is taught to me that I know works, that I then can tweak afterwards,
Yeah.
is really where I think I thrive quite a bit more. And so that has made the transition super, super easy for me because it kind of fits my personality a little bit better.
Going back a little bit, so you being at Southern, what was the goal? Like, I mean, maybe now you're like, dude, I'm roofing forever. Like, this is the best. But like, what was your goal at Southern? Like, what did you want to do?
Yeah, so the goal then, and still the goal now, just the pathway is looking a little bit different, but is full-time ministry.
Okay.
I, Lord willing, would love to teach, preach, either be a head pastor in a church or an associate pastor, whatever that looks like. I'm not entirely sure, but
That's awesome, man. Southern's a great place. People move all over the world to go to that college, so it's pretty cool. Tell me a little bit about yourself, like outside of roofing and school. Like, what's your hobbies? What do you do? Favorite foods, favorite drinks? What do you do in your free time, man?
yeah, hobbies. That's one that has been a little bit non-existent recently, but
You're only 21. What'd you do in high school? Did you play sports? Like, what do you do?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up playing sports. I competed in Taekwondo for a long time. I played football through high school. So sports was always a big thing.
What position did you play in football?
I was an inside linebacker.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. No superstar. I mean, I played, but no superstar, that's for sure. But free time now, I mean, I spend as much time as I can with my fiancée. Love her, love spending time with her. Yeah, I mean, that's
what's the vibe in New Jersey? What, like in Indiana, it's basketball is the sport. Like in New Jersey, what is like the main sport? Is there one?
New Jersey is a sad place for sports, except for hockey. I think the Devils are and the Rangers, one of the two are one of the two are usually doing pretty good.
Okay.
Jets and Giants, sad teams to root for, unfortunately. Yeah, football, baseball are, I think, the biggest.
So you got a couple of professionals like Jalen Brunson, a couple other people. Like, so they've produced some good basketball players, but I didn't know. Like, I guess that makes sense. Like a hockey kind of, up there. So, tell me a little bit about before we get off here. What are some goals that you have with Andy's Roofing? Like, what is your favorite part about it, and like, what do you want to keep growing in? So, if somebody like is watching this that may's like, I'm right on the edge of applying. I might want to be here, but I don't know. Like, what are a couple of things that like you want to accomplish here? And then also, like, what are your favorite parts about helping homeowners?
I mean, the favorite parts for me are the transparency. There's nothing that we do behind the scenes that I necessarily have to hide from the homeowner.
That's a huge deal.
It's a huge deal because it frees me
Yeah.
to just talk openly and not have to worry about what I'm saying to people when I'm out there.
Yeah.
What I see up on the roof is what they're seeing with the camera system that we use. What I'm telling them is my recommendation is what I think is the best recommendation.
Yeah.
There's no other agenda behind it. There's nothing censored, which is super, super freeing. There are very few companies I feel that you are able to genuinely do that. And I mean, in terms of goals, that's kind of where that leads into. I just want to be able to help people as much as possible.
Yeah.
And
Talk a little bit about, because we do, other people in the industry locally do have it, but we have a very good repair division inside of our company.
Yeah.
And a lot of roofing companies will, force and push that roof replacement, even if they don't need it. Do you have a time or a story about, like, I think I've seen you sell a couple recently. Actually, I think you might have sold one to a buddy of mine, but like you went in, hey man, like you really don't need a full roof. We can actually do a repair on this and get you a couple more years out of that. Do you have a good story on like how we're very transparent with that? Like we're not trying to push you to do that. Like,
yeah, there was a job I was on last week, and we ended up not doing anything for him because he had called us out once before and then called us back out for something different. But the first time he had us out was for gutters, and he'd had 3 or 4 other roofing companies out there to take a look at his gutters, and everyone was telling them that he didn't need them washed out. He needed replacement, like replace all new, brand new gutters. And this was a big home, commercial gutters, like it was kind of a big job, and I think 3 or 4 other companies he was telling him wanted to get him on the books as soon as possible. And then we came out and we're like, your gutters are clean. They look fine. And so stuff like that we see, unfortunately, relatively often. That's happened to me twice since I've been here. And I've only been here since July, middle of July. Yeah, and then that repair I sold yesterday to one of your buddies. I mean, the roof is over 10 years old. Definitely could have been a replacement, but definitely doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, a repair is easily the way they should go. So
I think that's the biggest thing about working here too. Even like being in the marketing department, I have to tell people what we do. I don't feel shady or weird about telling people anything we do. Mm-hmm. It's just so refreshing because in this industry, not just roofing, in the home improvement, it's like a lot of people, you don't know who's going to pull up to your house. They might have an unmarked truck or just this magnet, but like we have these beautiful green trucks that pull up. We're professional. Like, you know, Riyadh was in the last episode. Right now, you're dressed exactly like Riyadh. Like everybody's going to look the same. If you had one recommendation for somebody looking to work at Andy's Roofing, what would that be? Like if they're on that fence, like what would you tell them?
If they're on the fence trying to decide if they're going to apply?
If they're going to apply, like, man, I don't know if I want to be a sales guy in roofing at Andy's Roofing. Like what's one thing that'd be like, dude, it's fun?
You're not going to be equipped better anywhere else.
Yeah.
I think if you don't have a ton of skill or experience in sales or in roofing, and usually it's one of the two, mm-hmm. you're never going to learn better anywhere else. I can guarantee it. You're not going to have more resources. You're not going to have a better team around you. The Andy's environment is not. There's nowhere else that has a better environment for you to learn and be proficient and become skillful and genuinely help people than I believe that Andy's.
Dude, that's so good. So appreciate you coming out today. I just want people to get to know you a little bit. My New Jersey friend, and I appreciate you coming out today. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe this, hit the little bell so you know when we post. Also, Connor behind the camera is doing so much great stuff on social media. Go follow us on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and I guess YouTube. So I think that's all we got. Go hit all those up. Watch our content. It's great. You'll see more from Jon, but we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.